Greetings, gamers, and welcome to LogCast Episode 4. Now, this is a very special episode where we're actually going to be talking about the future of log chasers. Now, I have two very special guests here, and as you may have guessed, they're both leaders in log chasers. So, I don't know, maybe we should get started with Petville, if you want to do a quick introduction about who you are.
Yeah, I'm Petville. I'm a endgame clogger slash pet hunter. I have 14, 16 clogs. And yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I'm JT, or gray helmed, soon to be the no helmed. But I am a perma-stuck mid-game Iron Man that I'm approaching my 1200 clog mark, kind of slowly and passively. But yeah, so I'm not as far ahead as these two, but still just as passionate and interested.
Cool, and I'm LGR, as you
Yeah,
may or
yeah.
may not know. Surely you know. And that's my only introduction I need. Let's go to the next topic. So I wanted to discuss what our current goals are in game. It's kind of fun seeing what people are doing in game and how the goals change over time. So, Petville, why don't you start us off?
All right, yeah. My main current goal right now is maxing. I've put that off for about 4 years, and I'm 6 levels away. So I would say that's my main goal. My secondary goal would be gilded clog staff. I'm 9 away, so pretty close. Other than that, just finish off a couple dry streaks. 5 times rate on Addy Dragon Slice, almost 5 times rate on Scurry Pet, so I would like to get those 2 done.
Oh, dude, the Addy slice is just painful to even think about. Like,
No mention of Bandos. We're just ignoring this topic, or
I mean, I'm only 2x on that one, so it could be worse.
Man
We'll
says
we'll
only
discuss that
2x.
in future.
I'm only 10K. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal.
When you
Over
go
here, I'm
try
green
it.
logged to 800.
LGR's going for dew pills, and I'm just trying to get a pet.
And what 7 skills are you missing for max?
I need 2 rune crafting levels and 4 agility levels, so 6 levels.
Okay, that's not bad actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and max my alt before he maxes.
Yeah, and I feel like you're gonna win, maybe. Depends on how hard you're gaming.
So as far as my goals go, I really am just trying to focus on some of the more AFK, less intensive grinds right now. So I just finished off green logging Castle Wars. Just finished the gold set there. I have like 4 flags left from Trouble Brewing. Right now I've just been playing on my alt mostly, trying to finish off all the quests and potentially max it if it seems like that's what I need to do to keep myself entertained at this current moment. So that's pretty much what I'm doing.
Nice. And for me, I kind of juggle content as usual. So my AFK activity right now is just stars. I'm trying to get the pet passively while going for moon keys. I have 15 keys, I think, right now, which is pretty cool, and slowly climbing up. And more actively, I'm doing Temporos, which is also what I do on mobile now. I found like a new method to do Temporos on mobile that's pretty chill. And Nilo in the CC sent me a method. You basically just like fish, get the Temporos to 10%, so it doesn't do any specials, and then you just keep repeating that. So it's pretty chill. And more actively, I'm working on Doom. I'm trying to get all the CAs for it, but they're so hard. Like, I spent 3 hours this morning trying to get a CA, and I didn't get anything in 3 hours. Maybe that's just skill issue, but whatever. And I'm also missing the boot glue and the cloth from Doom, so I'm trying to get those as well. And afterwards, I would like to go back to Colosseum and finish off all the combat achievements for Zuckhelm and bless my quiver, which is very overdue, so I don't get bullied anymore.
People smile.
JT's proud.
I'm so happy for you.
Well, I think we both are.
Yeah, lots of free slots there too, so it's just positive.
And I'm 1 clog away from 1500, so I'm hoping that's a Doom unique.
Or a mining pet from stars.
Oh,
That would be a
that'd
cool
be
one.
so good. I'd be so happy with that. Which is what I'm gonna go do right now, actually, stars. Okay, so we can go to the next topic, which I mean, this next topic is basically just fully addressed to JT. And I listened to your ramble, I think it was last week, where you discussed your plans and your future of your account, and you decided to pull the trigger on de-ironing. And I remember we went back and forth, you and I, for the past like year about you de-ironing, and now it's official. The trigger has been pulled. So I want you to walk me through your thought process and how it feels to pull that trigger for de-ironing the account.
Fuck, man. I mean, it's can I say that?
Yeah, of course.
Cool, sick. I was like, I didn't know if I could swear or not. I just kind of do it. Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky one, right? It's something that people watch the ramble and people DM'd me and hit me up and stuff. And I was like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure like you can't take this back? And I think everyone sees all these people who de-iron and have so much regret. But if you look at people in RCC like Electric Mud or Godsword, these people who are 1,350, 1,400 slots who have de-ironed and found themselves still enjoying just the game like for what it is instead of enjoying the game mode, it gives me a lot of hope. I just don't think that my need to play the game is linked to like my fun isn't connected to me playing an Iron anymore. I will say that hands down, if you have not played an Iron Man and started it from scratch and gone to the end game or max one, I think it's definitely like one of the most fulfilling processes I've ever like start to finish accomplished in any video game. Um, but I think that my fulfillment process is a little bit different now, and I don't have as much time as I used to 4 years ago when I started my Iron. The time commitment that I have and the rate at which the game is releasing content, I just can't feasibly keep up with it. And there's like something in my brain that doesn't allow me to take a step back and be like, oh, if you don't want to do this, just don't go do it. I feel the need I need these boots because technically these boots are going to, you know what I mean? Like, or, oh my gosh, okay, so this just came out. I need to spend all this time learning this. I would love to still do content on release, but I would like to be able to do it without having to worry about catching up with content that came out 7 years ago in order to like effectively accomplish content that's coming out, 2 months from now. But overall, super excited, man. I think it's going to be such a fun little adventure, and I won't dive too much into it. I know for a fact it's the right decision. I have dropped majority of my gear over that I'm not going to be needing for our upcoming event, and after the event, I'll probably drop the remaining amount of gear that I need to drop over to start getting items and passively making income on the alt when I'm done questing on it. If you want to check out the ramble, I do have one on my YouTube channel if LGR doesn't mind linking that below. But if you want to see it in length, me talk about everything, it'll be linked in there.
Yeah, I'll for sure link your channel in the description for those who want to listen to that. I think it's like a 30-minute ramble, pretty fun to listen to while gaming on the side. And
Was a very good listen.
Thanks.
I do very much relate with you with keeping up with new content. I had a goal this year to do to greenlog every content that releases in 2025, and I'm behind ever since Yama, so it's kind of tough. And I don't play as much as you do either. But I guess you must be so excited to be able to spam open those imp links when you de-iron though.
I bought so many. Oh my goodness, the words. I've never. So my last time playing a main account was before Nightmare release. So much has changed in the game. And I would say I'm a much better player than I was then, as far as like all around. So there's a lot of excitement that I have. There's just so much available to me. Ironically, I talked to Marnie about this, and I was like, if I want to like just go skill, I would love to go for some 6 hours, like some skilling 6 hours, like the agility or stuff like that, or just get better 6 hour like skilling timelines just for myself. I will never probably break a skilling record, but just doing them for fun for myself to improve, I think will be a lot of fun. I really miss efficient skilling, and it felt like a waste of time to do an iron because I need to go and grind this XYZ piece of content for gear. And as a main account, I'll have max gear, so it doesn't really matter, and I can just do what I feel like doing when I log in that day. I'm really excited for that, just freedom.
Yeah, I'm sure. Especially when you have very limited time to play and everything is just so much faster to do on a main. It really just makes more sense.
And I just feel like with the collection log being a thing, like I don't really care about Iron's remains now. I think the clog just kind of evens out the entire playing field, which is kind of cool. But it's too late for me. I'm locked in on Iron Man mode, so no hopes in Letter D Iron for me.
No one's
I
locked
mean,
in. No one can be permanently locked in anymore. I mean, I guess you have passive income, or not really passive, but you have secondary income stream that relies on your game mode a little bit. But, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure I'll probably still get people watching me and all that, but I mean,
You think Brown Tree would break up with you if you de-ironed?
I think Brown Tree would unfriend
100%.
me, 100% chance. Yeah.
LGR who?
But yeah,
I mean, yeah, but the collection log did just make it so much similar. Just made maidens like mini irons. They're just going to collect all the stuff. They just get to do it a little bit faster.
for me, it's just the imp links. That's like the one thing that like just pulls me ever so slightly, like a magnet towards de-ironing. And I guess Yama contracts for pet would be kind of cool, because right now it's very rough. But besides for that,
I
like
mean,
my
I just
playstyle is the same. I have basically infinite potions and infinite supplies, except for certain gear, and that's about it.
it just makes clues so much more enjoyable, and you really enjoy doing clues. So I feel like that would be the only thing that would make you do it.
I
Just to be
would
able to spam imps whenever you want.
I would one take rush, easy, medium, and hard clue green log. Like if I ever
Oh, I'm
de-iron,
sure.
like insta
Yeah.
rush, especially mediums. Like
Yeah, I already bought the eclectics for it's like 2,500 mediums worth of eclectics, so it should
That's more
get me
than
to
enough.
green log. Like, oh yeah, it should be well more than enough. It'll bring me to like 3,200 mediums. So
All right, cool. I think we should jump into the juice or the meat of the cast, which is what I think most people are here for. So let's start with the first question, which is the current status of the CC. So what are your thoughts in terms of player counts, in terms of event frequency, mods, whatever you want to discuss about the CC? What do you feel?
Yeah, I feel like our player count is increasing drastically. It's getting very close to 400, which is kind of a scary thought. It's a lot of people to try and moderate and please all of them. I feel like we have a very solid mod team right now that's just kind of covering all aspects, all time zones, which is great. I feel like we finally got the perfect amount of people to kind of cover everything. Great event staff. Everyone's trying to constantly come up with new ideas for events. So overall, I feel like the CC state is in a pretty solid spot. I know none of us three thought it was ever going to be as large it is now and have as many people wanting to join us. I was reading in Log Hunters earlier that a guy said that the only reason so many people have been trying to like mention multi CC and is so they could join us, and I thought that was pretty cool.
yeah, it's a good feeling to see that people have been in their same CC for 6, 7. Even some people have been in the same clan for 10 years, and people like they would love to be a part of our community, and they can't because of the restriction that's behind multi-clanning and with the current clan system. So it's nice to hear this. People will be like, I really would love to be a part of your community. You guys have so many fantastic things. I don't want to leave my friends that I've had for the last 6 or 7 years, and it's really it's heartwarming to hear that. And I agree with you like wholeheartedly. I think the CC is in a fantastic place. And what are we at right now with minus alts? I think and trialists for like 340 people, like active full members in the CC. And I think I always thought it would feel too big. Initially, I was like, "Oh man, I'm really concerned." My apologies. That this amount of people is going to feel too big, and in some aspects, like it does feel like we have too many people. I always get really sad when I see somebody in the CC like talking that I don't recognize, or somebody gets a drop or a clog and I don't recognize their name. I always like there's a part of me that feels guilty about that. I'm not sure why, but it leaves me to kind of feel a little nostalgia when it comes to remembering the early parts of the CC where we had like 85 to 100 people and everybody was like completely aware of what every single person in the CC was grinding. We were all aware of everybody's progress and where their goals were, and it was a lot more personal. And I think as we've gotten bigger, some of that like interconnected personal aspect has faded away a little bit, and that's obviously a natural part of the process of expanding as a larger community. But I just, it's inevitable. It happens. I think our event frequency is like in a really good spot right now. I would almost say it's too often. And for some people, it's a really weird thing. I've been a part of a lot of communities in RuneScape, and it's a weird spot to be in for us. We have so many active players. Like I think when Delve came out, we had 315 people in the CC, and we had like 160 people almost that were online. Like that's crazy. The percentage of that is insane. As far as like, and people are like, oh, if we want to reduce members, go and do an inactivity check. If I looked at all 340 of our members right now, I think 2 people haven't actively gained XP or a clog in the last 3 months. Like that's insanity. That's absolutely nuts. So we have a really active player base. But for some reason, everybody has their goals and they only want to do those goals. So our events end up being a little smaller than I anticipate them to be, because people don't like signing up for events that are going to pull them away from what they're working on. Since we have so many people in our CC who are like end game cloggers, they're so goal oriented, and having like these events typically, other than our PVM comp, don't really align with those goals. So they don't want to pull themselves away to sign up. And that's the only downside. I think our events are a little smaller than they could be. Unlike a PVM CC where so many people like they play to earn GP and do PVM and go for like different PVM goals. So an event for them brings more people online and more people to sign up. So I think that's really my only qualm with like our events is just the lack of signups. We still have like 100 people that sign up for an event, but I feel like it'd be cooler to have half the CC like all in an event, flaming each other, having a good laugh about stuff. But other than that, I mean, I'm super happy with where the CC is.
Nice, good. A lot of good information there. I do agree with you on a lot of those points. Like the amount of players we have online is insane. Like right now, I'm looking and we had 130 earlier. We're at 128 players online, which is insane, because that's over a third of the CC that is currently online on a Sunday midday. Which I've never seen this many people online at once, and it's always packed. It's always above 100 people, except for dead hours, which is wild to me. And the mods are goated in the CC, especially the 2 new mods that we recently onboarded, Linny and Penny. They've been doing a great job with the applications and the rank ups, so I'm very happy to see that the mods are carrying that portion. In terms of the event frequency, I do agree with you. I think we're in a really good spot. The only thing I would like to see more often is the boss of the weeks, but those are kind of hard to pump in between events and in between new releases. Because if a new release like Delve comes into the game, for the next 2-3 weeks, the entire clan is just sending Delve. So no one's going to want to do any boss of the week for anything else besides Delve. Which is perfectly fine. That suits their goals and their collection log objectives in the game, which is fine. But yeah, in terms of the recent event we did against Oblivion, that was so much more fun than I ever thought it would be. I was very happy that we were able to keep the fight really close. For those who don't know, we did a raids comp or a raids collection log rush event against the Oblivion clan, which is one of the most highly respected PVM clans in the game, and we were able to, I guess, hold our ground. We still got wrecked in terms of EHP, which is what we expected, but I'm glad that we didn't get completely destroyed, which was pretty fun for us to be a part of that event. And yeah, I think that's all my points for this.
Technically, we won. I just want to annotate that, okay? If somebody didn't loot the top dust outside of the raid, we would have won 8 hours prior to their completion. Just saying. Just want to annotate that.
I was going to say that if you didn't.
We got griefed, okay? We were... Thank you, Lucky. I appreciate everything that you've done.
No, you name dropped him.
That man caught so much flack and heat. And then I DM'd him after the event ended. I was like, hey, man, I just want you to know, like, this is all banter. Like, I just need you to understand that we're all just having a good time. And at the end of the day, like, it's not a big deal. And he was like, no, he's like, it's good fun. So he's an absolute sport about it. So he has stayed around and had good laughs about it. It's been good fun.
The CC got a good laugh out of it too for like 3 weeks after that. Anytime he got a rage drop inside, right?
Yeah, every time someone would get a dust from hard on top, everyone in the CC would spam.
Yeah.
That was so funny. All right,
But I mean, as far as
so
events, I feel like we do try and do like a good balance. So I mean, we are a collection log clan, so like JT said, a lot of people have content done, but at least with the PVM events, it's all balanced off points. So you can just kind of do whatever you want, and I think that kind of works perfect with this type of clan.
yeah, I was actually thinking of doing like a boss rush event. I guess it's probably a good time to mention it, but I wanted to do like a next boss rush event where the first person to get every unique gets like a certain prize pool, and then the people with the most kill kind of at the end of the event gets the Discord and in-game role. And I was yapping it to Wiki about this, and like every time you yap with Wiki, it's like a 2 hours later situation. And we're thinking about like doing Mage Camp next masses and seeing what the kills per hour would be. So I'd be really down to try that just out of pure curiosity to see if it's any good for passive elites, even though it's very much trolling. But it would be kind of funny to go for 10,000 next kill count at long term. But I don't know what you guys think about that type of event.
Dude, I can't wait
I
for
mean,
next chord where you're gonna have a GM rec. Have to
GM
have
Reg,
GM.
Max
Yeah, 10
Mage.
man next max mage.
You can't lose ticks, otherwise you get kicked. I do not want to create a next chord that is just PTSD for me thinking about, so hard pass.
I mean, it definitely sounds like it could be really fun, but yeah, I feel like you'd probably be trolling doing that.
I just want to test it out to see if it's possible to get 45 kills an hour for the one
I mean,
elite
yeah,
caliber.
I would be down too. That does sound fun to do. Just shadow next.
And I was also thinking of doing like because I did this event in the old clan I was in called Battleships. So it's basically like Battleship, the game you played as a kid, if you ever played that. But every tile is like a something in game to do, and then both teams place their boats and then play. I had a lot of fun in that event in the past, but like JT said, that's not an event for cloggers because you might have to do some post green log content to be efficient in that event to help your team win. But nonetheless, it would still be fun to play that eventually.
Or we could always try and bring back the bounty event. I feel like that got a lot of good feedback too. I
Yeah,
think
that
we
was
did
fun.
2 or 3 of them.
I think 2 or
Elfin
3.
Signet and
Yeah,
Zulra, and I think, is it just those 2?
I think it was
I
just
think it
those
was just
two.
those two.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's always
Um,
something we could bring back in the future because it seems like that had a lot of success.
yeah, it's just about upkeep, really.
Yeah.
That's the biggest struggle. Those is upkeeping them.
Yeah, it's a lot of more work than we anticipate.
Yeah, I mean, generally, like a lot of CCs don't care about Jagex releases. Like if a PVM CC has events scheduled out and Jagex release a forestry minigame, no one gives a fuck. You do that in our CC, and everyone's like, "Why are you sending an event in the middle of this content release? We need to get these items so we can green log it." So, so like anytime Jagex releases anything, it kind of griefs some aspect of our events.
Yeah, it's tough, especially when they don't tell you when they're releasing something and you don't have a date, so it's hard to work around it.
Yeah, we saw that with the badge comp and Yama potentially coming out
Yeah.
right before the badge comp. That was stressful.
And it's hard to balance items when you don't even know the drop rates, the kills per hour, or the new metas that's going to get released or discovered in the last couple in the few days to come. So it's tricky.
Hopefully they don't randomly add any more pets like they did with Moxie. Just no poll, no mention of it, and just throw it in the game. That was kind of weird.
They 100% will.
I don't know. I feel like that's like the only time they've really done that. No,
I think so, actually, yeah. Because I remember that one
just
was a
like to
surprise.
completely not talk about it at all, like no mention of it anywhere, and then just randomly add a pet.
They added Huey, and that they talked about it. I remember being in London and watching the Jagex summit about it, but Moxie was just not at all discussed. It was a surprise to everyone. Happy I spooned it. All right, I want to discuss. Speaking about events, actually, I want to discuss Casket Comps. Actually, I'm gonna let JT. Do you want to maybe give like a brief description of what the Casket Comps used to be and what they are today? I think it's kind of like your baby, so it's only
Yeah.
fair if you discuss it.
So currently in reality the casket competitions are gone. That's pretty much slow and skinny. It's something that was like this funny drunken miracle that occurred. Like we had so many people joining the CC, and there was a deep part of me that was like, we need to have an event or something to let people know that what we are offering within our community is going to be different than other communities. And I know LGR and I had discussed like somewhat of a clue event, like solving or stacking clues or completing this many clues, and it sounded like a nightmare to manage. It would be difficult between each game mode, gathering clues. You'd have to have people submit like their casket stacks prior to the start. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna open all these caskets next I don't remember how much notice I gave. I said, everybody's gonna open together. Whoever gets the highest value in each tier of casket will win a small cash prize. And it kind of like, I didn't expect it to be insane. And honestly, the first one wasn't crazy. I think the first one we opened like 4,000, 5,000 caskets. But it created this, because this was before the Masters when the Masters had this was when the Masters had a cooldown from caskets. So you had to open a casket, and if you got a Master, you had to wait 30 seconds. So openings took a long time. So those openings that had occurred, we had people in VC pretty much anytime during peak hours opening caskets and streaming casket openings. It was just a good, fun thing to be a part of. And as that progressed and they changed the way Masters worked and things like that, and people realized that this was kind of a fun event of let's just watch people open caskets all weekend and then solve Masters together. It got really big to the point where one of them, I think the event was 48 hours, and 38 of it, or 39 hours of that entire event, there was somebody in the VC opening caskets. It was insane. We almost hit 24,000 caskets opened in a weekend, which is absolutely nuts. And we would do like an announcement post, and we would track everything that everybody got. And unfortunately, like as the CC grows, it's just one of those drawbacks here is that it becomes a lot to manage. And I love those events, and I didn't want them to go anywhere. And with the back end of tracking all those items, it's kind of a nightmare. So I'm hoping with this implementation that we're doing with the Temple OSRS plugin, we can automate some of those things and make it a little bit easier on the staff team to still create these, fun little, and I don't know, LGR, if you want to like screenshot one of the overviews of what we were doing and then like throw it up on the video, but we do these big posts afterwards that kind of show all of the rare items that people got. In the last event we did, we only opened, I know we say only, but we only opened like 14K caskets, and I think we got 8 third age. So it was like good fun. It's fun to watch. It's just a nightmare to manage. So what we did was we turned it into, the first Friday of every month, or the first weekend, everybody can open their caskets, but there's no like competition between it. There's no cash prize. And people are not a fan of it like that. So I want to try and get back to the way we were doing it previously. I just need to find a better way to streamline it. Because we have a very unique CC. Like, I don't know if you guys know the data behind our clue openings, but I have them written down because I wanted to bring it up. Just some people don't realize how many clues people open in the CC. With all current members that have joined since January 1st, 562,000 clues have been opened. Just for like math, that's insane. Absolutely nuts. And the breakdown of that is 210,000 easies have been opened, 75,000 mediums, 174,000 hard clues, 47,000 elites, and 33,000 masters.
That's crazy.
That's fucking
all of this. Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely insane, right? All of this working towards the hunt, which is for people who are listening who may not be in the CC or aren't aware. Any guest in our Discord or any member can view what's called the hunt. And the hunt is basically our CC as a whole going for every single pet, every single third age item, all clue rares like Mummy, the Dragon Kite Shield, the Dragon Plate Body Ornament Kit, all Tux pieces, and all gilded. And it's pretty crazy. We finished all gilded and all Tux pieces a month into the event with 32,000 hard clues 5,500 elite clues and 4,000 masters. And then we finished all master rare uniques and 9,000 masters in March. So it's been pretty cool to see that data and people compete for it. Right, I think right now we're missing 2 items or 3 items. I'm not sure, Petville, if you know off the top of your head.
Yeah,
Is 3? Okay.
But they're giga rare, so it might take a while.
One elite tier 3rd age and 2 master tier 3rd age.
Yeah. So is it Druidic Bottoms, 3rd age pickaxe?
And pickaxe.
And 3rd age cloak, right. Okay, yeah. So it's crazy to see. Like I never thought it would happen. I was like, what do I give the CC as a goal for the entire year that'll never be completed? I never thought we would be this close. So it's been pretty cool. I would love to bring them back though. I really do hope we'll automate portions of the casket competitions. I thought it was one of the best things we did in the CC that people like would go actively brag about that we would do.
I mean, I just feel like casket openings in general is just always something people enjoy. Like even if you look at like a Twitch streamer, when they do a casket opening, chances are their numbers are going to be higher compared to when they're doing, a different piece of content. And I feel like the hunt definitely made the casket openings have a lot more hype. It kind of built the clan together to try and accomplish this goal of basically completing every rare item in the game in a year. And yeah, it's just always been a solid meetup, and everyone's just taking turns streaming. Everyone's gratzing each other. It's just generally a good time. I know towards the end, it was definitely a lot of work, and it would be kind of sad to see, be like 2 days before the casket opening, and you'd see someone open like 500 hards, and it just kind of feels bad when you see like all the mods and the leaders putting a lot of work to make a great event for the CC, and to just like see someone not really care, I guess I don't know if that's the right word. I get like sometimes people are away that weekend, but I just feel like towards the end it kind of like almost seemed like it had less interest.
It definitely had less interest. You saw that with the numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, I said we had that one opening where we almost broke 24,000 caskets. And then the subsequent one, I think, was 17,000 caskets. And then the subsequent one, which was, quote unquote, the last official casket comp we did, was 13,500, I think. So there's definitely dwindling, I wouldn't say dwindling interest, but just less involvement.
Yeah. And I know there was a leagues or something in between one, right? Or when we had one scheduled, and that kind of slowed it down a little bit for that one. But I'm not really sure like what made the interest die down at all. I felt like that was our most popular event. But yeah, I would definitely love to bring them back to how they used to be. It was definitely a good time seeing everyone get together in VC, 50, 60 members in there. And sometimes there'd be so many members, you'd have to get someone else to stream the stream so everyone could see it. It's good fun.
They were so fun. I really loved the summary thing that we would post with all the loot the Gilda, the 3rd age, received during the weekend. And I really hope we bring it back down the line with some automation. And I really, really, really liked the hunt. It was so fun. The first month when we were rushing the pets, and I put like 100 mil bounty on Zalcano just for the memes, and we were like, I think at one point we had 2 pets missing. It was like Rex and Chin Pet, and then someone got Chin Pet, and eventually we got Rex Pet, and that was such a good day to complete all the pets as a clan, which still took, I think you said it was a month to finish all pets, which is a lot longer than I expected, but still somewhat cool. Hopefully we do that again in 2026, and I can compete again at the first month and get something for the clan.
Yeah, definitely be a staple. We will be definitely doing it again.
It's a lot of work for you early on, though. The first month, there's like so many submissions.
It's a fucking nightmare. Yeah. But no, I mean, at this point, it's so easy.
And that was fun.
We don't. Yeah. But no, the first month's fine. I mean, the first few months is a little hectic. It's not really a big deal. It's fun, and there's a lot of like even simple things end up becoming like a dupe tux piece will normally piss somebody off. It's like, fuck, I just got the wrong tux. I need these 2 other pieces. I got this one, but then you realize it's like, oh my god, this is the last tux piece we needed for the hunt, and then it's awesome. Then you're happy about it again. So just a different way to approach things for those people who are just hunting specific items.
You guys remember like when Petville in the Hunt channel, he's like, guys, we haven't gotten anything in a month, and then I pinged Wiki. I'm like, Wiki, you gotta carry us, and then the very next day he pulls a third age wands and gets a hunt piece.
Yep.
That was so cool.
Didn't we have something crazy as like for Reqs? Didn't we have like 100,000 kills plus before we got the pet as a clan?
Yeah, it was
15,000 or something like that.
No, it was higher than that. It was like
What?
31K. It was like
What?
31K for
Okay.
Reqs. Yeah, the
That's
CC
I knew it
went
was
very
really
dry.
high.
Damn. I mean, it's bound to happen to go dry on something, so it makes sense. That's
And then we
kinda
had
cool.
BA as one of our last pets, and we got like 6 of them right after, like a week after everyone was just getting them after we finally got one.
Shout
when
out Dark
Yeah.
Seance.
Dark was
Yeah.
carrying that. Ben was
Good
doing
vibes
chill
only.
vibes, BA with the boys, and I think he saw like 21 pets before he got his or something crazy. Poor guy.
Yeah, he definitely went through it there.
All right, so I'm going to move on to the next topic, the pain points of CC management. That's a good sign. There's nothing.
I mean,
Uh,
I would say the biggest would be trying to please almost 400 people. I mean, you're not gonna, but you can try your best to please everyone. But just kind of like the feedback we've been seeing about people having to download the temple plugin, like there's always something you're gonna do to not make someone happy. So I feel like that's like really the only pain point, trying to manage such a large CC and support everyone's needs and wants.
yeah, I would say that was my number one. When we kind of decided on the topics, I jotted some stuff down, and my number one pain point was keeping everybody happy. To the large scale of people that we have, it's definitely a difficult thing to do things and keep everybody pleased with what's being accomplished. There, it's an interesting spot with what we're doing. It's hard to not change things without creating stagnation, and I don't want things to stagnate because that's how people get complacent and communities die. So keeping people happy with changes that we think would make things easier and help with that stagnation, I think is good. But some people are bound to be unhappy with some of those changes, and that's a natural part of any progression, no matter what you're doing. I think keeping people informed is a big thing for me. I try to be a very, very transparent person, and I think about myself in that situation. If I was part of this community as just a member, like what would I want from somebody? And I think kind of being in the know when things are going to be happening is a big thing for me. I really like to be informed. I would like to have that information, and that's been like the biggest double-edged like blade I've ever dealt with, because I'm transparent with people, and then it just causes a shitstorm sometimes. With some of the more controversial changes or talks that have happened, I will continue to do it because I think it's the right thing to do, but it is sometimes a pain in the ass. I'd say another thing that has been a pain point for me is running a community in like a virtual world of like gaming, right? Is a difficult thing to accomplish solely because of the fact that like you're leading a bunch of people that there's no threat vector at all, right? There's nothing that stops people from leaving. There's nothing that really, like, people are choosing to be there and be led by you or be a part of the community that you're helping run. And at the end of the day, the people also helping you run it are just volunteering their time. Like there's no financial benefit to this. There's no incentive. There's no risk. If I don't do this, I'm going to get fired. Like everybody here is a volunteer that helps with the staff team. And so keeping those people wanting to be involved is a struggle for me sometimes. And I just think that it's a really, really weird scenario that I think builds a lot of good qualities in people when you run a giant community full of people who aren't forced to be a part of it. Like being a manager in a business, it's pretty self-explanatory. Even if you're a shitty manager, people will listen to you because if they don't, they're going to get fired, and they need that money to put food on their table for their family. if you do things that people don't like in a virtual community, they're just going to go to a different community. It's not a difficult process. So keeping people around and keeping people happy is a part of it. But I think it really shows your ability to manage people. I don't know if you guys feel the same way in that aspect, but
You explained it perfectly, I think.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I have. I mean, I'll always struggle with delegation and splitting the workload between people, but that's a personal pain point, not really like a CC management pain point. That's just JT being JT.
Delegation is hard. I've been trying to work on that in real life at work. Not an easy thing to do. But I started learning recently to just let go, and if something doesn't work out, then you can just pick it up later anyways. But for me, the main pain points, like you guys mentioned, is decision making. Like for the next topics we're going to talk about later, like changing requirements, or how do we want to do this event? Do we want to change this? Should we do this? And it's impossible to please everyone. We have vastly different mindsets in the CC, some of which expects a smaller clan, others a big clan, some social, some elitist. So it's very hard to manage everyone together and make a decision that everyone's going to be happy with all the different views. And I really, really, really dislike managing drama. I think it's so cringe. Some things that happen, I'm not going to say any examples, but when you tell me, JT, something that happened, and I'm in my head, I'm like, why would you even do that? That's so stupid. I don't understand. But that's part of managing a CC, is dealing with people doing some questionable actions that you have to manage as a result. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's I guess that's a struggle too, man. I mean, it's RuneScape, like friendship and community has always been really important to me. I've mentioned that in previous discussions I've had, and it's the whole ball game really does fucking change when you're part of the team that helps manage it, because you need to make decisions, and I think some people frustrate or get not they confuse. I'm sorry, that was the wrong word. They confuse decisions that are a betterment for an entire community as this personal thing. And at the end of the day, like nothing is I can still be friends with somebody, make a decision that removes somebody from the CC, and that doesn't mean they're not my friends. It just means that this is the expectation. I'm not trying to goalpost anybody. This is just where we're going. And for an odd example here is Ryan is somebody who I consider a really good friend of mine. Like I'm going to his wedding this winter, and he didn't hit the 1K requirement when we were officially we had finalized and finished the timeline that with the grace period we gave people who are current members, and so I removed him. I'm still going to his wedding. I'm still going to be part of the wedding. My friendship has no bearing to him being in our community, and I think some people lose that, and they think that these changes are ways to ostracize and remove them, instead of just being like, hey, this is what's the betterment for 300 plus people. It's not just one thing that we're using to remove you. That makes sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Actually segues pretty nicely to the next topic, which is the future of the requirements to join the CC. Now, I know, JT, you made a post which you talked about earlier that caused a lot of controversy when you were being transparent about what you wanted to do for the future of the requirements. So I guess I'll just throw that out there and I'll let one of you guys talk and I'll add to it later.
Yeah, so I know as of now, once Iron EHC gets implemented, that we're going to switch to that as our new platform, along with 1K log slots. So if someone spoons, the moon helmet and has 400 logs, they can't join still. But yeah, I feel like this kind of goes with the last topic. As far as the pain points, when you raise the rec 100 log slots and it's just a bunch of people rushing easy, quick logs, which really just doesn't benefit their account at all. They're just doing it to get to the next goalpost, and then, all right, well, now I can just kind of chill and idle, and that's not really what you want for your members. You're trying to help them progress their account in the best way. So I feel like once EHC gets added in that, I feel like that'll be a good goalpost. kind of keeps it in line with skilling clans having EHP, PVM claimings have EHB. And I feel like it'll be nice for us to actually have our own system and guideline to go by. I know some people are kind of skeptical of it and they don't think some things are right, but it's just kind of a hard thing to keep up with. As far as log slots, I kind of like the 1K. Maybe way down the future, we could maybe implement Dragon Rank and stop at that, but I feel like having the EHC kind of better indicates that someone's more determined to clogging than just rushing 1,000 easy log slots to get in the clan and then just be idle and hang out.
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree with that. I got a message the other day when I made the EHC announcement. I mean, I got a lot of messages. But the one that was, the one that I'm mentioning is just funny to me. There's an individual who was actually rushing 1K on their alt so that they could join on their alt, because 1K was something that you could primarily AFK. If you're a main account, a lot of grinds you can just like auto retaliate grind, or there's things like Castle Wars and Trouble Brewing, which are literally just full AFK and not a substantial time investment. Mini games are also, like, just in general, you can spam mini games pretty casually and hit 1K really easily. But if you do that, you're going to be sitting at like 1100 EHC and not meet the requirements. I think adding that 2K EHC requirement, it also levels us with places like Solace, right? Who, I mean, everyone knows that that's the end game skilling CC. There's no question about it. If you are a skiller and you are trying to go for that 200 mil all, or you're trying to just, your active goals are all skilling oriented, like Solace is the place to be. That's where you're going to find the most efficient and like-minded people who know what they're doing. And really, really enjoy that content. There's a few other CCs, but I don't really think most people take them seriously anymore. I think Solace is really the one that just stands out. I think that the 2K EHC requires you to do a breadth of content, so you have to do quite a lot. You, for example, like my friend Ryan that I mentioned, we were looking, because he's working on 1K again. He messaged me, he was like, hey, I'm working on 1K. I was like, oh, awesome, nice to see you're back to the game. Just want to mention that we are going to be pushing out an EHC requirement as well soon. And so he's actually like really close to it, and he realized that, like things like raidscapes are awesome. Like if you just want to raid and you finish 2K like Tob and 2K CM, that puts you pretty close to the 2K EHC, because those capes are big hours. It's those like static grinds of just pure time investment. I think EHC is not the controversial hard one that we're pushing to people, because that doesn't really remove a lot of people when you start considering the UIMs that we have in the CC, or the Ironmen, and those are usually the culprits of being below 2K. And once Iron EHC gets pushed out, I think UIMs and Irons will be well above that threshold with no issue. I think the biggest struggle right now is the one that's been talked about the most, and talked about in the most heated sense, is the max cape requirement. If you want to add anything to that, feel free before I dive into my rabbit hole.
All I'm gonna add is Petville is getting yeeted. That's all.
I can't wait to kick him, dude. This is gonna be great.
Yeah, I guess I just forgot that in the future requirement since I haven't maxed yet. Oops.
He was keeping it quiet, hoping we would notice.
I mean, I think max cape is a fine rec to have. I mean, not including me, most people would have a max cape by the time they have 1,000 clogs or 2,000 EHC. It's just something that benefits your account. I'm just lazy and I hate skilling.
Honestly,
but yeah, I should have gotten it years ago.
The way I see it, I'm against the max cape reg. I think we're a clog clan, so we should be clog focused. Obviously, the max cape is very efficient to get and should be gotten before clogging, like any progression. Like in my case, for example, I maxed before I was a clogger. But today, if I wasn't maxed, I'm not even sure if I would actively rush it. Probably just AFK like you are, Petville on the side. So I'm against adding that as a requirement. I think it's not necessarily needed if you have over a K 1000 collection log and over 2000 EHC. And for those who don't know, EHC is a metric to calculate how many hours you spent clogging. So that means you spent 2,000 hours effectively clogging, but like JT said, that includes PVMing, and skilling, and other things too. So I'm against the max cape rec. I don't think we need that. In terms of the EHC requirement, I like having the 2000 EHC to join the clan. I wouldn't want to have EHC as set as a rank up, for example, to go from recruit to corporal and so on. I think the collection log count is an easier way to manage it for everyone, for all the mods as well. And I think that if we do implement this, we need a very, very generous grace period. I'm just thinking about someone who is like 1500 EHC and has to do 500 hours of efficient clogging to be able to stay in the CC. If we give them 2 to 3 months, like there's no way they're doing that unless they don't have a job or something. So we'd have to make a 6 or 9 month grace period, which might be a little bit excessive, but it would be more fair for those players. And like JT said, for the UIMs and the Irons, I'm sure they're going to get a massive buff from the EHC changes that should be implemented in Temple eventually. And I'm also thinking about one of my buddies, like you said, JT, I have a friend called Bort, and he's been trying to get into the CC for the last, I think, month now, and he's been clogging, but he's quite far from maxed, and he's around 500 clogs, so he's still quite far away. But now, on top of all that, he has to get 2000 EHC, so it's going to take him at least another year to join the CC, which I kind of feel bad because he is one of my good friends. I would kind of like to see him in the clan yapping and progressing the account with us. But alas, it is what it is.
It's I mean, that's one of those tricky spots where at the end of the day, it's if we just allow anybody, regardless, because they're enjoying clogging at this time, it's you end up with a 500 person CC, and you have people who it's a tricky spot to be in. I think that having if we're going to consider this to be the end game collection log driven, completionist driven CC, then that's I mean, you need to have a requirement to annotate where that starts, and I think 2K EHC is a really good threshold, especially from all the data that we've pulled from our current members, right? Like we pulled all that information, we looked at all the ranks, and we saw where like the average EHC was for each threshold, and 2K was bang on average, just for like our 1000 collection log slots, right? And then you have like the outliers, like the 5 or 6 people who are really low EHC. I think that anytime you're pushing a requirement up, generally, I think that trying to say, okay, we need to dictate our grace period based on not having to remove anybody, I think that's a bad call. Only because when we did the 900 to 1000, remember like last year, we decided, hey, this is how we're going to push this out slowly but surely, just to get us to the end point where we want to be. The people who didn't get the requirements between that 3 months of having to do 900 to 1000 were people who just didn't intend to get the requirements. Like they just weren't either playing the game or they weren't actively, like they just didn't care. They and that's fine, but I think that the people who are actively playing the game and doing a wide breadth of content are going to naturally have that 2K EHC. It's just part of the progression, and lowering that or diminishing it or lowers people's goals to join us as a community. I think there's nothing wrong with being part of a social CC in the intermission period between joining us, because it does a lot of things, right? Being part of a community introduces people to bingos and CC events and CC just environment and interaction that we then don't have to really teach people, if that makes sense. Because like teaching people to interact with events is a massive pain in the ass. And so if we have like not lower tier, but like entry level clans who are doing that as people progress towards our requirements to join us, I don't think having a requirement basis that is an aspiration for people to accomplish is a bad thing. At least from my perspective.
I mean, I will say for me, like, it's been nice, like going from a maxcape, and I've just been able to go through all these clogs like passively, like all the skilling ones, and not have to get any of them post XP. since I don't really care about like skilling XP. So like even for the people that still need to max, like there's plenty of things you could do passively like while you're clogging. So
Yeah, I'm a fence sitter on this one, unfortunately. I think it was initially brought up to me by someone as a potential requirement, and I've gotten so much feedback about this. I've gotten from really good constructive criticism to really angry and personal attacks sent to me, to just trolling. And I think that the max cape rec, there are some aspects of it that make a lot of sense. If you're doing massive amounts of clues without a max cape, like you're kind of trolling, realistically. There's so much time save involved in having a max cape. But on the other hand, then that begs the question: if you want to consider tick save and time save, what about an infernal cape? Because an infernal cape is a massive tick save and time save when you're farming EHC at things like Tob, or you know what I mean. There are.
What about Zuckhelm? You know, you can go really far with this. That's the downside.
Well, I will die on the hill that I think GM is the time save there is primarily for Iron Men, EHC, and next for all accounts involved. I really think that's the God Wars Dungeon KC limit is the biggest benefit of that now, since 2-minute thralls are gone. Because I was looking at that when I was looking at my D-Iron goals and considering going for GM, and I just don't think the time I spend going for GM is worth it. If I have to actively do it and abandon other goals that I have, it's just not something I'm going to rush to go do. I think the max cape is a good progressive. I mean, if you look at any account progression, from my perspective, it's okay. The first thing you should ever do when you start playing your RuneScape account, aside from having fun, is pushing towards completing your quest cape. And once you complete your quest cape, your next echelon is completing your diary cape, right? And then after your diary cape, you're so close to max, well, you might as well just finish your max cape. And then you start expanding yourself. All while doing those things, you're earning GP by doing raids or PVM or Slayer bosses and things like that. But I think that's just like the natural progression, like the progression arc of your account is you end up maxing. I don't know why people wouldn't do it, but I understand why it doesn't have a place in our community from a logistics standpoint.
So you're safe, Petville. That's what he just said.
whoa. Well, luckily
Maybe.
I'm still gonna max, but
Maybe.
Maybe. You better max
Sailing.
just in case.
Yeah, sailing, that might take me a while, but I'll at least knock out these two.
Sailing was the biggest concern we had. That was realistically the biggest concern, was people were like, well, I don't want to have a timeline of what I need to interact with sailing and get 99 again.
It's a fair point.
I mean, yeah, that's just
when we
people
pulled
worry
it.
we're just gonna compare it to Elitist. All right, you have 1 month to get 99 sailing. Good
Yeah,
luck.
which would be
that's
yeah,
rough.
it's pointless. Yeah.
If you don't have a
There's
job.
no value add. Yeah. So I mean, it's we'll see what happens. We'll see what it comes to. I mean, right now our biggest hurdle is trying to get Iron EHC ironed out. Haha. And pushing for that EHC deadline and move from there.
Cool. All right, so I guess we can go to the next topic, which for me was closed applications. So basically, do you ever think we should ever close the clan application for new members?
Yeah, I do. I think at 400 members, I think anything over 400 members is very excessive. And indefinitely, I don't think we should close it. I feel like over time we could open them up again, but I mean, eventually we're going to have to close them. If we don't, we'll hit 500 members. I have no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, we hit the point recently where we started discussing having a max amount of trialists at a time, right? And I think closing apps until we have enough people leave the CC and then reopening them as we have room for those trialists, and then have people apply during that period of time, and then first come first serve type scenario, and then keep with that process just moving forward. I don't know. I dislike the idea of closing applications to the CC, but it's not uncommon. I mean, you see it with places like Home or places like Sanity. People close applications. And one of the things that was mentioned to me by someone when I was having this conversation, just kind of like spitballing and trying to figure out, just get my thoughts down on paper, was, well, if you close the applications, your CC is growing at a rate. Maybe you need to just increase the requirements because, well, I mean, if you have so many people, like maybe your requirements are too low. And I don't think that's the case here. I just think that there's no other CC that offers the atmosphere and experience of what we offer. So there's no like real competing force there. There's not the back in the day of like Solace versus Omnia and Hexus and all of these like different skilling communities, or the Oblivion versus Hero from way back when, of like these people are competing for the top gamers in the field. Like we are the collection log CC. Like we are the collection log CC. And there are other CCs that have collection log based ranks and stuff like that, but no one's going to think of a collection log clan and think of anybody other than log chasers. So I think right now it's just a lack of competition, and people have been like, oh, you should start a second community. Like you should start a log chasers light, where you guys are running a community of people who are working on the requirements to get to join, or as an overflow for. And I just think that's too much fucking work. I'm not gonna run a second. I'm not running a second clan, because then you can't expect the staff team that signed up to help you with log chasers to automatically feel like they signed up to run a whole second fucking clan, and it just becomes a shit show. So then we'd have to find a whole other staff team. And then
double the drama,
I can't
double the work.
Correct. Yeah. And we have so much, like, I would say that we have an expectation and we hold ourselves here to like a certain level of how we want to be and how we want to run a community. And I don't think that I could be positive that other community would meet that same standard, or I wouldn't want our time to be taken away from this community and our like quality of content and quality of interaction to dwindle because we're spreading ourselves too thin. So I think closing apps would be a positive thing, as long as we do it right. And unfortunately, I've never run a clan before, so everybody who's stuck around for all of this trial and error and us figuring things out, it's been a blessing, man, because at the end of the day, we're never going to learn from mistakes if we don't make a few here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
what was the thing we tried last time that went just shit?
Oh, the prospect rank thing?
Prospect, yeah. Oh
that was a nightmare,
that was
dude.
the perfect example of trial and error right there.
Yeah.
Are we at the multi-clanning as well that we tried? Didn't work out.
Yeah, we tried multi-clanning, which was beneficial, but unfortunately it just feels like it gave people no reason to really stick around here. So it was like, it just felt like we were log hunters, but with extra steps. It was like we made like for the VIP channel, we made like our own community that you can hang out with. I didn't like it. It felt like people didn't have to have enough buy-in with our community. Like if you want to be a part of us, I think it's not it's not unfair for you to come join the CC.
No, I
mean, we essentially just made a VIP gilded channel in our clan.
All right, so for me, I think it's inevitable that we close the CC. We're getting like 7 to 8 apps a month right now, so like I guess we can assume 2 a week. So at this rate, we should be more than that even. At this rate, we should be maxed out at 400 members, maybe by the end of the year or early next year. And I mean, we can't just leave it on forever. It would be cool to hit 500 members, but it just adds more headaches. And I think 400 members is a very nice cap to hit. The way that I see it in my mind is, and this is what we did in the old clan as well, but instead of 400, it was 500. When we hit 400 members, we close the apps. And whenever our member count naturally goes down to 390, then we open the apps for 10 people to apply. First come, first serve, obviously. I don't want to deal with any queues or nothing. And then we go back to 400 and we just repeat that cycle of opening apps, closing apps, opening apps, closing apps. Chances are apps will be closed for quite a while because we don't have that many members potentially leaving. I don't know what a good rate is, like maybe like 1 or 2 a month of people that leave. So chances are that apps will be closed for a while, which does suck for someone like your buddy JT or my buddy that ever wants to join and the apps are closed. They'll have to wait. And then when we open the apps, I'm sure it'll be 5-6 people waiting to insta apply. and then go through the trialist system. But for me, I think that's the best solution. That's not too difficult to manage, and that's what I foresee happening to us by the end of the year, most likely.
Just to touch on something you said. So we've had 15 members apply in the last 11 days. So that would be
Shit.
about 45 members a month. So we would be full at 400 in a month
That's only with the people that we've accepted. Because
that have
I
had
think when I
referrals.
looked at it,
Yeah.
when I looked at it last time, we had denied almost 30 people because they didn't have referrals.
That's actually crazy. So I overshot it by quite a bit.
Yeah, we have a lot of applicants that get turned down.
Yeah, I've noticed
Yeah,
that.
without
Yeah.
referrals, we would be almost at the 400 cap that we wanted to be already. I would like to move the trial list down to 5 at a time. I feel like that would be very nice. And hopefully with there not being so many, more of our members can interact with them and like start leaving more positive feedback or negative feedback so we have more of an idea than just someone clicking a green check mark.
Yeah, I think reducing the amount of them that can occur at a time. So we have people who open an application, and then once we'll do like a batch. And this is what I initially tried to do with that 30-day mark. But it was 30 days, and then it was just like we didn't really have a formalized process. We didn't have like an applicants channel. It was just like you joined the CC for 30 days, and after 30 days, people felt like that was too long. I vehemently disagree. I think 30 days is the perfect period of time where you rock a smiley for a month, and then after that month, people get to know you, and it just kind of incentivizes interaction and communication. So I'm hoping I know we had discussed a little bit about some of the trial changes in the mod chat, but I think it was like 10 people, but jumping it down to 10 trialists and having it be 30 days again and see what that does for interaction and engagement.
It's a good way.
Because
Yeah,
14 days,
yeah.
14 days is like so short. Like, unless they play all the time, they're not really going to like. Narwhal was a great example of somebody who 14 days felt like a good period of time because he's interactive, he hangs out.
Super talkative.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not enough time for some people who are, less chatty and such like that. So
Not even just off of that aspect. I feel like people that are willing to hang around in the CC for 30 days to actually get their rank are a lot less likely to leave than the guy that was in there 2 days gets ranked. And he's like, oh yeah, I changed my mind. I don't want to be in here. Anyone that waits a month before they can actually join, I feel like are a lot more committed to being a part of the clan.
hard
That's a
agree.
good point. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that was pretty good discussion there, I find. Anything else
Yeah,
you guys would like to
definitely.
add, or should we go to the conclusion?
Yeah, man. I mean, there are some ups and downs to CC, and I just want to really thank everybody who has been patient with the changes, and anybody who is in Log Chasers who's listened to this whole thing and has input. Don't be scared to reach out to one of us. All three of us are responsive, active, and always open to constructive criticism and thoughts, ideas, and potentially a way forward of what you guys would like to see. We take all of those things into consideration. Not a single DM that I get is ignored. We cannot progress and grow without community involvement and people's buy-in. So just don't ever underestimate how valuable making yourself heard and reaching out to us is, because it is very, very beneficial to the three of us.
Yeah, definitely. Also, a big shout out to all the contributors that just genuinely want the CC to be the best place possible, like Carrie, Swerve, Wiki, all the people that just don't expect nothing, just try and help out the clan, and just nice to see.
+1.
Yep.
A lot of good people that just want to see the CC in the best spot possible, and that's really nice to see.
Shout out to the mods as well, doing God's work for the applications
Hell
and
yeah.
rank ups. It's really nice. And the clan is in a great spot, and I hope we keep thriving for the next years to come.
Yeah, keep seeing it get better and better.
All right, so I guess next LogCast is when Petville maxes, so no pressure.
All right, I'll see you guys in 2027.
All right. Taking off the next 2 weeks of work.
No, I do actually want to see these more often, especially for changes like this in the clan or for new content and stuff like that. It would be pretty cool. So hopefully more LogCast to be pumped out in the future.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
these. I think they're great.
Hard agree, man. Hard agree. I think consistency is key, especially with these just like open forum discussions. Like you have a topic and you guys talk about it. I think there's a lot of positive that comes from this. We just need to maintain a little bit of consistency.
Yeah, plus they're just nice to see feedback from other members of our community. So I'm a big fan of them. I would like to see them more too.
All right. Well, on that note, peace out, lads. Enjoy your rest of your week. Take care. See ya.